Okay. Night number 3. Here with one of the prior Potomac champs. Carl, I'm excited for tonight.
Yeah, we got a guy. I'm super excited. We got a guy that's fresh off his second place finish at the Upper Bay event, our first ever event. This guy's been instrumental in promoting our club, even though he's a member of another club. I mean, who does that? He's always open for advice and knowledge and nuggets of wisdom. He's none other. Oh, and I'm sorry, he's past champion from last year's Potomac event, which I know personally. None other than Josh Evans.
What's up, y'all? I appreciate y'all having me on tonight. This is always my favorite week of the year, and now I'm going to get to hopefully cash a couple checks with baits that I make on my own. So I'm pretty excited about that.
That would be pretty cool because fresh off the press.
Yeah.
Oh, indeed.
Saturday, first, second, and third place plaques. These are not done. They're just raw. They're just engraved. And then you got Sunday's first, second, and third place plaques. Literally just came off the press minutes before we came on live. So they're not done yet, but they're finished engraving. That's the hardest part. And we're looking forward to giving some of these out, hopefully to someone who's on the live stream tonight. We got 6 of them available this weekend. They're coveted, man. Josh has one already.
I do. I'm going to add a couple more this weekend. I'm going to tell you now.
A couple. I love it.
Shots fired.
What's up, Kyle? Kyle saying hi. Hey, I love the confidence. Love the confidence. Another one of our winners. Man, tonight's call, I feel like tonight's call is going to be one of those legacy calls, right? One of those legacy streams where we're really starting the first chapter of something amazing. Because what Josh is doing is really equipping the anglers, right? Like he's literally giving you the juice. You just have to put it in the right spot, To do that, I think it shows where your heart is. I think it shows, not only that you're selfless, but that you're really here to grow the sport. What's up, Jeremy? Jeremy, we appreciate you on the call last night as well. And Josh, I believe maybe it was Jesse's question in regards to the Potomac Creek grant, but that is private.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll make sure that Aaron touches on that again tomorrow during the captain's meeting because I don't know what club they were from, but I know that there was a group of anglers that had called to inquire if, and she said, well, I'll give you a special deal for the weekend. And if it's not normally public, then, we usually keep it off limits because not everybody's going to know that that's even an option. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Kyle is saying all he's saying is mech baits are looking fire.
Appreciate it. Kyle, I saw your daddy earlier, so if you ain't seen him yet, you might want to go visit him. He's got your baits too. And he got more on the way. So,
you might want to get a padlock.
Yeah.
What about Aquia Harbor Marina?
I don't know. In that particular marine or in that particular creek in Aquia, I've used Aquia Landing, which is the beach where they held the awards last year, to fish the beach because the beach area is it's a what's the word? Goddamn public hole basically. It's a community hole, right? People go out there.
The mouth.
Yeah, so there's that out at the mouth. There's Hope Springs Marina, which you have to pay a fee, but pretty much anybody can launch there. I've launched there before. And then further back, I believe it's called Willow Landing, which MAKBF has used in the past. It's a real small little place. You think you're going into somebody's neighborhood or some craziness, and then all of a sudden you're there, and you're like, oh, okay, dope. Real small, kind of hard to find, but you look it up on Google Maps and hit directions, it'll take you there. So those 3 spots are good. There's another spot called Crow's Nest. I think I want to say that's on Aquia as well, but it's way, way back in there. A lot of the snakehead guys go in there, and you can't launch with a trailer there. I don't even know. I know they have a kayak launch at the end of like this 200-yard long dock that you got to winding dock you got to walk to get out there. So that's a cool little out of the way spot that most people won't go because you can't park there with a trailer. if you're car topping or, throwing in the bed of your truck, you can, but it's a hike just to get to the water. But there's a lot of snakehead back there. There's a lot of everything. So.
Yeah, because I got that question from Justin Thompson.
Yeah.
Yeah, Justin Thompson today. And he said that he called the marina and they said that, you don't have to be a member. You can launch theirs for members and non-members.
I would just say that, if you have members expressing interest in launching there, do some due diligence and reach out to them directly yourself. Not to say that, Justin or everybody else would say otherwise, but you want to hear it straight from the horse's mouth, because last thing you need is anglers getting upset, you know what I mean? Saying, oh, I thought that was private, and we want everybody to feel like they've had a fair shake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I tried calling them, but they were closed.
Yeah.
Or we can discuss it tomorrow on the captain's meeting.
For sure. I probably won't be on that. It'll probably just be Aaron representing MAKBF. I think everybody's sick of seeing my mug this week. But, we'll let y'all hash that out.
Cool. Well, we're on the call because you blessed us with being a sponsor for the season with Mech Baits. And
yes,
I mean, in addition to the wealth of wisdom that you are, that's primarily the focus. But I mean, hey, wherever you want to take this, I think everybody is welcome. But if we could start off talking about these amazing, amazing crankbaits, I think that would be great. Carl, how do you feel about taking it off that way? Just kind of letting Josh tell us all about it.
We believe in the guest being the star of the show. We're merely just guides. So take us on a journey.
Most definitely. So I'm gonna take you way back in time. No, I'm just kidding. So my wife and I, we've been together over 20 years, and she knows me extremely well. And she knows that I like to keep my hands busy and my mind busy. I kind of need to a degree. And I had cut back on. I'm not really doing too much of the national stuff this season. Just for the season, I needed a little break, and I wanted to kind of keep my creative juices flowing. I wasn't sure what to do, and she said, "Well, we already starting up a business anyway. So why don't you?" Says, "I'll start up this LLC, and we'll name the company your old nickname, and you can start painting again." And now, to give you a little background, ever since I was about 13 years old, in various parts of Southern Cali, I used to be a graffiti artist, and I used to do big murals. And I started out just scribbling and tagging, and it progressed relatively quickly into a real art form for me. At least I consider it as such. And so, I used to do old DJ shops, buddies' bedrooms, random businesses would hit me up, just all kinds of stuff. And I still sketch every now and then, but I don't pick up my cans anymore. I always got them on deck, but you know what I'm saying? But that being said, I haven't really had a creative outlet to the degree that I usually like. And she said, "Well, why don't you get yourself an airbrush kit?" I said, "For what?" She says, "You love fishing, you love painting." She goes, "Why don't you do both?" And she says, "You're relatively well known, a lot of folks, and you can bring your artwork to, one thing you love to the other, basically." And I said, "Okay, that's a cool idea. Let's try it out." And at first I got a little cheapy airbrush kit, and after some of the learning curves that go with it, I kind of fell in love with what I was able to translate from my brain to through the paint to these baits, and it's kind of blown up from there, really. She's working on getting the LLC and the website together and all the other good stuff, and I'm just her painter, so to speak. You know what I mean? But yeah, pretty much. The wife runs the thing. But that being said, it's cool because I've had a creative outlet. It's been a cool learning thing. I always like to learn and push myself in every facet of life. And this is just kind of another one of those adventures for me, untapped, and something that I've learned I'm pretty passionate about. I'm digging it. And the other thing is, I know you can go out to any big box store or even, some of the brick and mortar mom and pop shops, and you can buy any national crankbait or jerk bait or popper or any of those other things that you want, right? for a relatively decent price, because a lot of times they get volume discounts and stuff like that. But what you don't get is you don't get somebody that's putting their passion into it, right? And every single bait has been hand touched. Every single bait is unique in their own way. Even if it's the same pattern, there's going to be variations. And I'm gonna tell you what, some of these colors, you ain't gonna see the depth in any of those big box store baits. So I want to bring that to the people that I love, the community that I love, which is the kayak fishing community and the fish community as a whole, and hopefully help more folks catch more fish. You know. And on a side note, it also challenges me, because now I'm putting in other people's hands exactly what I would throw. Okay, so you know, I'm a firm believer, if you're going to compete at any level, in a kayak, in a boat, off the bank, whatever fishing, if you're going to compete, be confident and think every single time you go out, you step out there, you're going to win, right? Now, granted, the reality is none of us win as much as we don't, right? But I like the extra challenge, and I like knowing that, you know, the guy or girl to my left or right might be throwing the exact same thing I'm throwing, so I better do it damn right. You know,
that's similar to like going over your grandmother's house and she cooked dinner, and you know your grandmother put that loving on the food. So you know that food's been loved on. It's been, everything is right, no shortcuts. That's you. Yeah. That's your creation. That's your baby. When you're out there, or in the lab rather, you know, cooking up these color schemes and thinking about all the fish you done caught and the colors and the combinations and what you would like to see, and then putting it all on that blank canvas and seeing that creation. Now, my question, I think that's, my question is, how do you duplicate it over and over again?
It's not too complicated, really. I think, you know, if you're, most of the colors that I'm offering are combinations of various colors and different kind of metallic flakes or pigments and things like that. So being mindful of, you know, the measurements to achieve those same colors or those same, you know, the depth on some of these baits, where, you know, if you turn it in the light, you just see kind of that shimmer and sparkle from some of that real ultra fine gold or silver in there, different things like that, right? Paying attention to those ratios really closely. And I got a little notebook I've been annotating, because, you know, my brain ain't what it used to be, I'll tell you that, a little dingy. And I definitely want to be able to replicate it, you know. And if for some reason I am to, you know, forget to write down a particular color combination and how I achieved it, I can kind of go through the thought process and walk through it as I'm going, and color match as I'm mixing the paints versus, you know, physical baits I have here, or pictures I've taken on baits like the Potomac pre-spawn Dawn. I'm gonna tell you now, Pete bought me out on those. So I took a lot of pictures ahead of time so I could duplicate that again. That's, you know, I'm doing 50 to 60 baits here in the next 2 days, so I will be putting some more of those together. Don't trip. But you know, it's one of those things. You got to really pay attention to what you're doing.
And just to back up for a second, I don't know if we mentioned, I don't know if Evan mentioned, I didn't mention, but whoever the second and third place finishers are for this weekend on Saturday and Sunday, and for the rest of our season, they get. You want to tell them?
Yeah, most definitely. So every single second and third place angler winner, should I say, in every tournament will receive a Mex Custom Baits crank of my choosing. It may be a square bill silent, it may be a square bill one knocker, it might be a popper, it might be a lipless one knocker. You never know. Okay. I do have specific colors that myself and Justin Talbot from Old Line Baits worked on together. We did a little color collab to kind of be some decent colors that are going to catch on the upper bay and the Potomac. So those will be also in the offering, but it's going to be a surprise as to what you get at each event.
Now, I know guys are wondering, where the heck are these baits? Is he going to show us some baits? Can you kind of show us a bait and walk us through the process of how you came up with it?
Yeah, man. Definitely. Let's see. I'm going to start with one that I personally really, really like. I'm going to try to get it so we can really see the colors here. So this particular bait is what I call the chroma craw. I mean, chroma in Greek, I believe it means colorful. My wife had told me something I got. It's like called heterochromia or something like that. It's like my eyes are basically this combination of browns and greens. Not like hazel though. It's a little different, right? And I did it, and that's the first thing my wife says. I look like your eyes. But this particular color, I developed specifically because Jake Harshman, I was asking him about colors that he thinks will work, up on the Susky and Juniata, especially with the colder water. And he sent me pictures. So I color matched the craw that he sent me. And that's what I came up with. There's a micro gold, really, really fine gold in that spine and in the face. And then again, it transitions super dope. To that bottom, that kind of pearly green blue.
Yeah, I like that.
So there's that one. Now, another one. So we got Ryan Lignelli, who's a member of MAKBF. He has been for a bunch of years on and off. Tactical Fishing Company, who's another soft bait maker that is a sponsor of MAKBF. Andrew Blair, super good guy. And I'm hoping to collab with him on some colors. He and Jake Harshman put together it's called like Jake's Juice or something like that. I don't know if it was a couple days before or after that dropped, but Lignelli sent me pictures of a tube that he wanted me to color match, and it actually was super similar to the Jake's Juice color. So that's again a craw pattern. Got blue and that kind of coppery brown. And then if you look closely, you will see the little sparkles. Most of the craws that I've seen pictures of and that particular bait that he showed me had some little blue and orange and purple accents and on the actual crawdad itself, and then on the bait as well. So I tried to color match that the best I could, specifically for Mr. Lignelli, and then I decided I want that to be a core color because it's pretty badass.
Okay, you gave me an idea. And I have a color way that I want to try out for crankbait, and I want to give it a name. I tried to name one of Justin's baits, and I was terrible at it. I think I had something like Tabasco craw, something like that. It was horrible. But I want to create a bait like a pre-spawn type bait called Carl's Craw.
Carl's Craw, okay.
Like a black back with some orange in the belly and some red and some gold. Something mean, something vicious. What do you think?
I got you. I do have. I was gonna say, so you could do the way I like to name things. It has to roll off the tongue. It has to be something that'll kind of stick in your head and be memorable in a way. I think that's I mean, think of like the iconic Rayburn Red, right? You got that R sound from the Rayburn and the red going. It's very explanatory of exactly what the bait is. It's a red bait, right? But then the particular features, depending on which company you go with, where there's a gold accent and a black spine or something similar, right? So I would always say when you're naming a color, you want to go ahead and think about that. You feel me?
What about Potomac Punisher?
I mean, hey, that again, that pops. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, good. That's good. Hey, wait. Ooh, Jeremy Smith comes through with the crawling car. I think the comment section is coming through for us tonight. We did have a couple questions. Michael Cheney wanted to know. Let me see if I can find this here. If he can demo your cranks. This might be a joke. But
so I that is one color that I cannot divulge, but Mike's a good buddy of mine, and he asked me to replicate a particular color, and I nailed it 100% spot on, but I can't show it to y'all.
Okay.
That's one that I cannot show. It's not for sale until after the Potomac event. Actually, it might not even be on sale after the Potomac event, honestly. But it's pretty damn special. I would tell you that the combination of it's nice. Yes, Mike, you can definitely demo my cranks. I got you, boo boo.
Kyle wants to know if you can get one called Old Bay.
Man, hey, I ain't naming nothing Old Bay.
What?
No, I'm playing. Nah, see, you got to remember though. So my wife, she's Chinese, Vietnamese, and Cambodian, and so we eat crabs and lobsters and all that, and we don't put Old Bay and butter on none of it. She got some Thai chili sauce and you know, garlic, and yeah, it's just different. So I'm kind of jaded against the Old Bay.
I'm just.
You got the other one too, Jake's seasoning or something that is sort of like Old Bay. I can't remember.
Oh, like what's the slap your mama? What?
I've seen that.
Yeah,
I've seen that. Oh, hey, Jeremy Smith is there something going on with a graffiti series?
that could be down the road. That will probably we'll talk about that in a minute because I'm working on something. Yeah, I think we'll get to that part in a little bit.
Good deal. That's it for the comments for now. Kyle is saying that Old Bay would sell. Joe's
seasoning. That's what it is. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you to Justin Talbot for letting us know about Joe's seasoning. Okay, back to regularly scheduled programming. Those look amazing. Did I see like a metallic flake in the bill, or was that just?
Yeah, no. On that last one, yeah, it's. So what I did was, mixed it in with the clear coat. So when I apply the clear coat, I can distribute it across anywhere on the bait that I want it. And then when I do the second coat, it's just clear. But that kind of laminates it into the original clear coat. And man, I'm telling you, especially on like a bright day, clear water, they're gonna see this from way far away and hear it probably at the same time. So
that was my next question. Are they silent or do you have rattles in them?
I got both. So currently in the 1.5 size cranks, I do have the silence, and then I also have one knockers. I prefer one knockers early in the year, and then the silent later in the year. And then once we get into like fall, late fall, like some of those championship timeframes, then I'll switch over to a rattling.
I'm gonna tell you something. That one knocker, I caught my PB personal best on the Upper Bay with a one knocker during a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
The fish I caught during that tournament, the guy, my boater, he won. Great friend, Jim Shin. But I caught my personal best with a one knocker.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I lost it right after that.
That's usually how it happens. It's the only one you have, right?
Only one I had, and I lost it. I didn't retie.
Well, I'll tell you what. Right now, I'm going with the blanks I have, but eventually, what I'll do is any of the craw pattern baits, the majority of them will be one knockers, okay, or some type of noise making bait, rattling, so you can kind of pick your poison. Because some people have a preference for one over the other. I think with the crawdad baits, the one knocker is more appropriate for the kind of the clacking noise that they make when they pop. The silent ones, I prefer those for more of the bait fish and shad, different types of forage fish. I like the silent ones personally, and especially clear water applications. I like the silent ones because it's more of a visual thing than anything, in my opinion. If the bite's real tough, I do like the rattles in the bait fish imitating baits as well, because again, similar sound profiles that there's rabbit holes, like I was talking about the other night. There's rabbit holes you can go and you start really researching and listening to the different sounds that are emitted from these little creatures, and trying to replicate that with what's available on the market, blank wise and all that. So yeah,
one knockers catch big fish, but traps in general usually catch big fish. Now, do you have different size traps, or like quarter ounce, half ounce, or you just
the ones I have right now are one knockers, and they're all half ounce. Okay. This time of year, you can get 3/4 ounce all the way up to a 1/4 ounce all in play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It depends on what you want to throw, but currently, what I have available, they are the half ounce.
All right. So, what's the biggest fish you caught on your custom crankbait?
On mine,
no pressure now.
I'm gonna tell you what. I haven't caught any fish on them yet. I literally haven't thrown them with hooks on them yet. Well, I take that back. I have. I'm gonna go back because Lake Anna. I walked that from my brain. I did catch some on Lake Anna on my baits. They weren't big enough to even mention, really. But again, the conditions were kind of booty cheek. So ask me that same question when we're doing our winners interviews, and I'm gonna highlight you and let you know.
If I can meet you at the ramp and maybe you can drop a couple in my kayak, I will do some R&D testing for you.
My dude, I already told you I'm gonna square you and Evan away, and you already know where I'm finna launch both days. So maybe we'll see.
I'm an R&D tester. That's all I am. I'm not. I'm testing. I'm giving you feedback. I'm testing.
I like that. Hey, and I'll tell you what. So the very first person that got any of my baits in their hands was none other than my buddy Alan Hurt. Some of y'all might know him as the old Maryland State champion, Alan. And he's one of the people that really pushed me to start making these available to people. But before he went to the Bassmaster Kayak Championship out there in Oklahoma, he said, "Hey, I need a ghost shad pattern. Do what you do." And he sent me some reference pictures, and so that particular ghost shad we're calling Hurt Locker, and it's going to be there's going to be two offerings. There's going to be that one in particular, and then there's going to be a variation of it with a purple, kind of a purple tip on the back end of it, and that's to color match a buddy of mine that uses a lot of Mega Bass stuff, and he really likes. There's this one particular color that looks really similar, and then it's got purple on the back. So we're going to offer both those variations as a standard Mex custom offering.
What's the general color scheme of the Hurt Locker?
I can show you the basics of it right now, actually. Go on here. Hang on one sec.
Nick Myers likes that name, the Hurt Locker.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to think of something catchy with it, and there is that military movie. And I was in the Army, so it just kind of made sense to me. You feel me? Yeah, so let's say it's really basic, right? Real simple ghost shad type pattern. I'm trying to Yeah, so sorry. It's a translucent belly, like a frosted translucent belly. And then on top, when you look at it's got kind of like a light gold transitioning into darker gold into a really dark chocolate in gold with that gold sparkle in it as well.
I like the eyes.
My lighting sucks here.
The eyes are on point, and that looks real. That looks
You're gifted, Josh. You are gifted. That's a work of art.
I appreciate it. Yeah, he was pretty stoked on the color, and it's named after him, so he has to be, I guess, right?
Some of these baits look like the fish on Finding Nemo.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what. I'll send you guys a picture. Let me send you a picture real quick. And Evan, I don't know if you have the ability to post a picture on the video right now, but
should be able to.
All right, give me 1 second.
Okay. Also, Kyle said he's going to hit you up tomorrow with a color idea. So that's cool. But hey, while Josh is doing that, if you all have any questions, I see that that Charles Coleman's asking about glides. So I'll definitely, once Josh is back, I'll make sure I ask that question. But if y'all have any questions for Josh while we have him on, feel free to ask him. I mean, even if it's not necessarily directly crankbait related, all you have him here, Potomac related, feel free. He's like an open book.
You're right, man. He's a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah. But I mean, while we have this pause, we should acknowledge our additional sponsors. And Carl, if you can do that, Josh, just send me the image. I'll get it uploaded now.
I just sent you an image and a video. So that's the Hurt Locker out in daylight. So you can get an idea when it's all finished and glossy and lovely. It looks like an actual bait fish. The thing's pretty cool if you ask me. I like it.
It does.
It's the most simple, but it's one of my favorite damn colors.
That's a realistic looking eye, the paint scheme with the back and the translucent belly. That's serious paint work there. So, and you guys mentioned, I'll wait until I think Evan's doing his magic over there.
This is sad. All right, I got a little distracted. I was listening to the video.
For the guys that ordered these CRM dry fit shirts, this is what it looks like with the hoodie.
Nice.
Justin Thompson, yours is coming. I'll see you Saturday.
There we go. This is the Hurt Locker, y'all.
Yes, it is.
That's as large as I can make it right now.
All day, every day, twice on Sunday.
I mean, the thing is, it looks so good where I think I'd want to buy one just to keep like on my tackle wall because
that one has red eyes.
Yeah, so I did two variations. I wasn't sure which one I think I'd like more. I was originally just going to do standard red eyes on everything, and then I was like, nah, you know what? I threw the little kind of the gold honey colored eyes on there, and that just it looked more realistic to me. So I sent a couple of each to Alan before he went out.
Yeah, you should just
color number 1, the Hurt Locker.
I can test off the gold eye and the red eye and tell you which one got more bites.
All right, I'm gonna run this video really quick.
I present you color number 1, the Hurt Locker. This bitch is bad.
And I was in the development process, and I was pretty excited with the final product.
Love it.
She bad.
Yeah.
Ooh, Batman Majama. Batman Majama as a color name?
Maybe. Maybe.
I'm not sure what that would look like.
When I hear Batman Majama, I think of like jambalaya. So I'd have to maybe like a Mardi Gras kind of color pattern.
Knowledge. I like that.
What size hooks do you recommend putting on those?
They come with hooks. They are going to come with hooks on them. Yeah. Number 6 hooks, I believe, is what I've been sticking on them, or number 4, I forget which, because I've got multiple sizes of hooks going on between these and the lipless. Give me one sec. Yeah, these will have number 4s on them. The cranks will. And then I've got a 4 and 6 on the lipless.
All right. Triple grips?
No, they're a VMC round bend. I've always been extremely pleased with them. They're sharp as hell. I know this because when I've been packaging and putting rubber bands on, they've been getting stuck in every part of everything. And also, I use them on the water pretty frequently with other baits, so I'm happy with them. Good price point for them, and they're great hooks. So
yeah, VMC makes a great hook.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. I mean, and there's definitely other alternatives out there, the triple grips and all the gammas and the you name it, man. There's a bunch of. I'm a big fan of a lot of different owner hooks as well. But right now, the VMC is what we're rocking with.
Okay, Charles Coleman is asking if you make glides.
Yeah, that is a great question, Charles Coleman, and that is something that I was going to definitely chat about. So let's bring it up. So currently in phase 1 of the launch, I'm going to be offering pretty much square bills and lipless. Phase 2, which will be late spring through summer, is going to be various top waters and jerk baits and ploppers, things like that, right? Phase 3, which is what I'm really hoping to be done by end of summer, early fall, is going to be at least 1, maybe 2 glide baits that are 100% me, from the initial designs in CAD and carvings to creating of the molds to development, testing, painting, and then delivering to y'all. So hopeful late summer, early fall, but it can be a lengthy process because I want to make sure that they are all dialed 100% to how I like them. And I'm still learning in that aspect, and I'm not going to put out anything less than what I think is the best. You feel me? So stay tuned. And if there's interest, in the meantime, I'm happy to paint. If you have a particular manufacturer you like working on or throwing their baits and you want something painted up, hit me in a DM and we'll chat on that. When we were at the ramp at the first event for CRM, Nick Mayers came up to me and he threw me a shat, TGB shat bait, and he's like, paint this however you want and give it back to me. I say, oh, okay, cool. So I was definitely digging the confidence in what I'm bringing to the table from him. But before I paint on his bait, I'm painting some of my own to make sure that I nail it and I really got it down to where I'm happy with it, you know?
Yeah. Hey, Jeremy Smith is giving you your flowers. He's saying that you're the man. He wants to thank you because he quit fishing last season, and your passionate advice really pulled him back in. So,
well, hell yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Thank you, Jeremy. Jeremy's a good dude, actually. He kind of was back and forth between Florida and Virginia in the last couple of years, and I say we met. I want to say we met at one of the expos at Jake's, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe prior to that. And we've kept in touch back and forth, you know, about kayaks and fishing and everything else. And he's actually the second person to get some Mex custom baits in his hands, actually, before he went down to Lake Norman. So, yep, he knows the deal. He knows what's up.
Kyle's asking if AOI can get a custom glide as an idea.
Wait, who asked that?
Kyle.
Your boy.
Kyle asked that?
Your boy.
Well, I mean, Kyle, I already plan on painting some for myself, bro.
That was quick.
That was too easy. That was too easy.
I love it.
We'll talk about it, Kyle. How about that?
Good deal. Okay, so VMC hooks. You got a lot of different options coming out throughout the course of the season.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I originally, this is little things. It's might be kind of dumb or corny, whatever. Right? Me and my wife were talking, and you know, my nickname is Mech. So she says, "Why don't you do, 13 colors as your initial core offering? Because 13 is, the 13th letter is Mech or M for Mech." And I was like, "Oh, that's kind of like that. That's catchy." But then, man, I'm just having so much fun painting. I found like 3 or 4 other colors I want to add. So I'm going to have to land on either 13 and scrap a couple or just open it to a little bit bigger of options. You know what I mean? I don't know yet.
I got a question. How long does it take you to, from start to finish, complete one bait?
That's kind of interesting. So a week ago, the answer would have been 100% different. And I'll tell you why. So a week ago, I had one single little compressor and a single airbrush, and between every single color, I would have to put airbrush cleaner through there, whole little canister of it through to clean out the airbrush before I started a new color. Okay, very time consuming, right? Between that, mixing all the paints, and then getting it to lay down exactly how you want it to. For now, granted, I don't just paint one bait at a time. I'll paint, 6 or 8 or 10. But that being said, to get through the various colors, be a few hours for one batch. And then I was previously using KBS Diamond clear coat. And for anybody that's familiar with that, it's an air dry cure kind of process. So it would take like 3 to 4 days to cure for the first coat. And then you'd have to do a second coat. Okay. You could start within 24 hours, you could start that second coat, but I didn't really like the results I was getting with it. So I went on and I found the correct UV lights and found this UV resin. It's called like BS resin or BR resin. I don't even know. It's written in a weird language or like a weird font, but I researched it with some of the lure making forums, and I really liked it. And it went from 4 days to 40 minutes, and it's completely cured and done. So now, and it's kind of funny because if I'm going to show you this. This is my light box, right? UV light is one of the things you don't really want to expose yourself to directly, cause cancer and all that good stuff. But so I made this coat, right, and in there. Oh, dang. There's baits in there right now. What you know? Hold on. Let me turn these lights off and see what's in here. I don't even remember what I put in here.
That's how you dry them? That's how you dry the paint or cure the paint?
Yeah. So the UV, it's a UV-based resin. So UV light cures it. So like I literally clear coated these, 5 minutes before we got on the call, and they're already dry and ready to throw if I wanted to. Now I'm going to do a second coating on them just because I want there to be that heavy layer of durability. But yeah, man. So that expedited the process, by a ridiculous amount.
Dude, almost came up out of my seat, man. Hold on now.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Black pack with the red belly.
What happened?
Hold on, let's get a close up.
It's like you was reading. I was reading your mind or something, Carl. What happened?
Is there a specific reason
I can throw that?
Yeah.
What's that now?
Is there a specific reason that was curing 2 or 3 days before the tournament, Josh?
No, well,
no coincidence, right?
No, actually, so this is the first base layer of another pattern that I'm developing, and I haven't seen it fully finished yet. So it's one of those things like this one I'm trying something new with, and what I'm doing is that first base coats and colors are now laid down and clear coated onto the bait. And now some of the patterns and additional coloring that I'm going to add on top of that initial clear coat. And then I'm going to clear coat it again. And what that's going to do is actually going to help like the black look blacker and stand out more prominent. And some of those details are going to be a lot sharper, which I personally am a fan of.
Got a couple questions that came in. Mike Cheney wants to know if you have any prints that are just a matte color.
I do. I do. Funny enough, man, Cheney, I swear to God, you trying to give away all your. All right. So Cheney, I want you to respond in the chat if you want me to show what I'm doing for you. I know the answer is no.
Well, I would wait for him to respond.
Show it anyway. I think you
No. That's a respect thing. I can't do that unless I get blessed off on it. And honestly, I don't even know if I want to show this one.
Hey, Chuck. Oh, hold up. Mike Cheney said do it.
Man, stop playing.
This is literally, whoa, is that a flat-sided print?
No, not necessarily. This little matte colored jewel right here, I'm not gonna even let it get in full focus for y'all. But I'm gonna tell you what, this bad little mama, woo-wee. Yeah. Something spectacular, we'll tell you that.
What I did see was beautiful. Charles Coleman wants to know what airbrush you're working with.
Oh God, what is it? Central Pneumatic. I went to. I know they've got like Iwata and a bunch of other different brands. This is like 100. I want to say with the compressor and one gun, was like it's retail at like $150, I think, something like that. If you go to Harbor Freight, however, if you want to get into trying doing this stuff yourself, you can go to Harbor Freight, and right now this particular compressor and gun combo is on clearance for $79.99, I believe, which is a killer deal because you get a gun, you get a couple of little bottles that are for the paint. You get another one that's like a little small reservoir for cleaning solution, and then you also get this little. I don't know if y'all see that little compressor. Yeah, and then so again, with that initial setup, I was having to clean my airbrush every time. So my wife was being super cool, and she was like, "That's so time consuming. Why don't you get?" They have this thing that's like a kit with. It's made by Central Pneumatic as well, but it's 6 airbrushes that come in this little case, right? And it's like $115, $120 or whatever. But and it's got a little carousel here, so I can actually set up to 6 guns in 6 colors at one time. Which, if I'm working through, like 10 baits, I can fly through them. I apply one color, then switch to the next gun. I don't have to wait to clean it or anything. So again, very much, it expedites the whole process for me, which is phenomenal.
Nice. Say Jesse Pestrom wants to know if you can recreate the OG Baby -1, the 1- and some of the colors.
Yeah, so I know that there's blanks floating around out there. I gotta find them, or I could do repaints on actual Baby -1s. Hell, I still got some in my tackle box. I don't even like throwing them. But yeah, I mean, if you give me reference pictures, I can duplicate damn near anything. If I can't, well, I'll tell you I can't.
Solid. I did drop that Harbor Freight link in the comments for anyone who's interested.
Yeah, no, and I will say that Harbor Freight deal is in store only. So if you get it's the compressor and one gun combo, it's like $79.99, and it's only whatever's in stock in stores. Most stores that I went into, I've been into 2 or 3, they've had 1 or 2 on the shelf. They don't move a ton of airbrush products, which is pretty phenomenal because again, the same gun or comparable compressor gun setup is going to be $150 or more.
Now, do you have to wear a mask and all that when you're painting?
Yeah. So again, I'm an old graph head, so I used to be real stubborn with that. But between deployments and just painting a lot of years without a mask, I started using one. Now I use one 100% of the time. I've got this 3M joint. It's like P100, I think is what quality, and then that particular filter, 2097 filters, and I can actually use this mask for both painting and for when I do my clear coats. Clear coats normally have to be in super well ventilated areas or outdoors, but because it's UV, I'm not trying to do it outdoors because that will make it harden instantly. I didn't really think about the UV thing, and when I first went to clear coat, like I was using with my KBS Diamond, I went out on my porch and I was like, oh damn, it's like literally a rock instantly. So now I'm doing it down in this room with my respirator on, and then once I'm done, I step out of the room and let it do its thing.
Cool.
And then
go ahead, Evan. No, go ahead.
I just had an equipment question. Like, I haven't done a lot of cranking because I got tired of getting hung up. But I knew that I was told that I just wasn't doing it correctly. Also, I was using the wrong rod. For your go-to cranks, what do you recommend throwing them on? Is like a 7-foot medium moderate? Is there a certain pound test that you recommend?
Good question.
So I'm not necessarily the conventional. I don't always use the conventional stuff, but for me personally, I have an iRod medium heavy crank launcher junior. It's my favorite crank throwing rod and actually my favorite spinnerbait rod as well. It's got some really great action, some nice backbone, but it still bends over real good and allows the fish to stay pinned, in my opinion. Line, again, people hate me on this one. I use like 100% fluoro across almost all my reels, and I know a lot of people like using braid, or with cranks specifically, they like using mono. I just like the fact that I can go up a little bit and test and still, throw what I want to throw. I'll use it depends. When I'm throwing my traps, because of the amount of the applied force that stays on that and the burning and everything, I like to have 15-pound line. I use P-line tactical fluorocarbon, and then if I'm using just like regular 1.5 or 2.5 cranks, square bills, then I'm usually using 10-pound test, 10 or 12-pound test, and the same P-line tactical.
So you have a 1.5 and 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
What other depths do you have when it comes to?
I have one that it's not a square bill actually, but it dives between 10 and 15 feet deep.
Yeah, that'll probably work well on Anna.
Yeah, that's a kind of a citrus shad color I've been tinkering with. Not sure if I'm going to drop it or not, but I kind of like it. Hey guys, can you excuse me for one quick second?
Yeah. All right, Josh will be back. But
coming up this weekend, big mega tournament.
Yeah. So definitely an opportunity to cash a lot of big checks. Also an opportunity just to meet a lot of great people. The way the weather is setting up. We're talking about this earlier today. You have this warm front coming through. We have stable winds right now for Saturday and Sunday, which is rare for a Potomac tournament. It seems like whenever there's a tournament on the Potomac, it's just 15 to 30 mile per hour gusts.
At least in April.
Yeah, but I'm excited. I'm really excited. All of our sponsors will be there, to my understanding. with the exception of maybe Big Bass USA. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Opportunity to triple dip. I even saw a flyer that said VKAE will be out this weekend. So that's a quadruple dip opportunity.
Yeah, I saw that too. I thought they were Steakhead guys.
I thought they were, but hey, maybe they're trying to get in with us due to just the fact that a lot of people are going to be fishing this tournament this week.
The more the merrier. The more the
there
merrier.
are definitely going to be a lot of folks out.
Yeah, because you got tournaments going off. Leesylvania, there might be one going off. Smallwood.
Yeah.
There might be Sunday. Sunday, I know there's a tournament going off out of Leesylvania.
Yeah.
Good deal.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. I had to use the restroom.
But,
long day.
Yes, sir.
Someone said the 1.0 can be fire also. I do have a question, though. Are the numbers the depth? Like how you would have a DT6 or like a KVD?
No. The 1.5 and the 2.5, it's just a size thing. I want to say it's the length, but I'm not pretty sure it's the length. I'm not 100% though, honestly. I just know what size correlates with the bait size that I like to throw. might sound silly or ignorant, but honestly, I mean, I don't know the science behind it. I think that's what it is, though.
Okay. Yeah, I do prefer a smaller crankbait on rivers in length. Yeah. At least.
Now, I do also have, aside from the square bills and that deep diver I showed you, I've got some other size blanks that are kind of cool. If you want to, fish for crappie or anything like that. I do have some smaller size cranks as well that are about an inch. They're little bitties. They're pretty cool. Got two different types with that. That one I just showed y'all, which kind of looks like a mega bass griffin, and then this almost looks like a small jerkbait, but again, it's only about an inch long, inch and a half maybe. So definitely have some downsized options. Like I said, when phase 2 hits after the initial launch and everything, I'm going to be painting up. These are like a 3-inch, very similar to like a Mega Bass Pop Max profile bait. Got Flopper 75s and what's the equivalent of a Mega Bass Vision 110. Yes, sir.
That was beautiful. Carl Hegarty, I hope I'm saying that correctly. He's asking if you have any Wigglewort style blanks, Jack.
I don't currently, but if there is enough interest in that, I know Aaron White reached out to me about Mega Bass Griffins as well, so I can definitely stock those. I know that warts are pretty popular, and the action on the OGs is some of the top action ever on a crank, really. But I got to find them at the right price too. So I will shoot me a DM and I'll do some searching and see what I come up with. Yep.
Sounds good. Hey, well, Jeff, we appreciate your time. There is one other topic that we wanted to address before we wrap.
Yeah, for sure.
That's this weekend. You have a ton of experience. Carl, you have a ton of experience. I'm kind of the new guy here on the scene when it comes to kayak bass fishing. But what can you paint a picture? Can you guys paint a picture of what it's like fishing on the Potomac River in April? Just kind of let folks who maybe haven't done it, get a taste of what to expect.
Carl, you want to go first?
I just want to say that it's probably one of the better times to fish the Potomac. And when we created this club, look at that. If you're armed with that, you're going to catch them. That plus some wood or rocks, you're going to catch nice sized fish for sure.
Yeah.
But when we created this club, we wanted to emphasize fishing the best fisheries in the area, and we wanted to emphasize hitting them over and over and over during prime time, the best times of the year. That was the whole genesis of how we got started. We love fishing. I love fishing the tidal Potomac. I fished all over Tennessee. I fished all over, not Florida or Texas or anything like that, but I fished around, and I always find myself trying to match it up to either the Potomac or the Upper Bay. I just love tidal fisheries. I love staying water, big fish, trying to outthink these fish and trying to not really outthink them, but trying to stay one step ahead of them so you can stay on them. It's a challenge. It's a challenge. And I just love it. This is where I cut my teeth on the Potomac, fishing bass tournaments. And as far as the club is concerned, and MAKBF and NVKBA, and I think we got another one that's going to be out here too. This is going to be the only time during the year that you're going to be able to fish against anglers from other clubs, all in the same event.
Yeah.
That in itself should be enough to get you off your couch and get registered. If you like Bass Masters, if you like the Hobie events, this is probably the closest thing to it in this area. That's the only way I can describe it.
Well, definitely agree on everything Carl said. You know, from a competition standpoint, you know, if you're a really competitive angler, it's an opportunity to compete against guys and girls that compete, you know, across the Mid-Atlantic, but also compete across the nation. You know, a couple notable folks, Jake Kukulis, who just won. It was either a Hobie or a Bass. I think it was a Hobie event not too long ago. He'll be coming down from, I think, Jersey. Jordan Marshall, Hobie BOS Angler of the Year, I think a couple times now, if I'm not mistaken. He'll be here. And he's never fished tidal before, so you know, I've been bugging him to come up for a few years now, and he said, "Man, I got to come up and see what this is all about." But you know, so if you want to show out on your home water, which you don't get an opportunity to do too often on against a larger you know, field, this is your chance to do it. If you want to see a stack up against some of those guys that do travel nationally and throw it down everywhere, this is your chance to do it. This is your chance to really go out and see how you stack up. And even if you don't want to do all that, that's cool too, because it's just an opportunity to go out there and have a good time with your buddies and catch some pretty good fish. Now, I will say, the Potomac can be the best time fishing ever, and it can be heartbreaking as well, all, you know, in the same 1 or 2 days. I don't like pre-fishing it because of that. Because you get out there, you get excited about a pattern, and you know the tides are shifted off by an hour, and the weather changes because that's Potomac in the spring, and your fish that you thought you had patterned are not in that pattern, and they're not in the same places anymore. You know, so it's a you know, ever evolving puzzle really. You know, just the fact that tidal fish move different and feed differently than bass that are in a traditional reservoir, lake, or river system. It's exciting, man. It really is, and it's a damn good time.
And it changes throughout the season too. Like,
yes,
you
sir.
Get, you know, pre-spawn into spawn into that June post-spawn July funk, where it's just the grass starts to get thick, the frog bite comes alive. It's ever evolving, ever changing. It's never the same river every time. You can come, like you said, you can smash them 1 week, come back to the same lily pads the next week with the same lure, and nothing.
Ghost town, yeah.
Nothing. So I love the challenge.
I'll tell you what, with the amount of warm weather versus previous years that we've had up to this point, there's more grass already growing on the river from everything I'm hearing from folks that I talk to, and, you know, interviews of folks on, you know, fishing the DMV and all that other good stuff. So the grass is coming in a lot better already, which is awesome. But I mean, if you want to think about it, last year right? If you look at the guys that finished in the top 5 each day, they all fish different styles. Okay. We had some guys fishing, bass that they found bedded in big beds of grass. You had guys punching thicker grass that they had found. You had guys that were, throwing the traditional jackhammer until their arm falls off. You had guys cranking. Um, you had guys throwing Cincos under docks. I mean, and that's literally the top 5 of each day. They were all doing something different. So, and you mentioned frogs. Frogs and buzzbaits, while traditionally aren't necessarily a early spring pre-spawn type bait per se, there's a dude that was throwing a freaking hot pink Tactical Fishing Company frog a day or two ago, and he popped a 7-pound, 22-ounce fish on the Potomac. So go check out Tactical Fishing Company's page; you'll see it. But I'm just saying. So right now, the bite's wide open, and the potential to catch, a new PB or whether it be one fish or a limit PB for yourself, is definitely very much a possibility.
Yeah, I've seen some crazy things where guys did really good doing some just oddball stuff. I mean, there was one year a guy was throwing in a bass tournament a frog into laydowns and was smashing them.
Yeah.
I mean, who thinks of that? I mean, but he did, and he figured something out, and he did good. He cut a check. Frog in laydowns.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Well, you bring up a good point too. I mean, hell, look at not the same body of water, but Jake Harshman last year was fishing the Susquehanna, throwing a goddamn frog to catch smallies. I ain't never in my life heard of somebody doing something like that. And then all of a sudden I seen something about Jake doing it, and I seen like 3 other people had done it too. And I said, well, I never even thought of that, but it makes total sense. You feel me? Somebody just mentioned, yeah. Or they don't see something, a slight variation from what they always see. Sometimes is all it takes to trigger them, really. Somebody just mentioned drop shotting around docks. Hell, we had a guy that won the KBF trail a few years back throwing a 2-inch crappie tube. So around docks. So I mean, literally, if whatever your style is, don't think that it's not going to be in play, because pretty much everything in the water column is wide open right now. Just a matter of finding what they're keying in on that particular day.
Yep, that is so true. I can't wait to get out there Saturday, and I know Evan's chomping at the bit to get out there, get his interviews in, and his photos, and shooting videos. And I'm going to shoot some video too, and take some pictures too. But I can't wait. Can't wait.
Hey, remember what I said when you asked me how I was doing on the Potomac video, and they go, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, we finna do that again, my dude.
Hey, it's time to run it back.
Yeah, go ahead and hit play on Carl's video again. You're gonna see exactly what I'm finna do this weekend.
I had each one of those sounds. I had to edit that in.
That's awesome. Visually. I know I can't make them Donald Duck noises, so.
One of my kids' favorite episodes of SpongeBob is the one where he had the sentence enhancers. Evan, you'll get to know this later on. That's where I got that idea from.
Yeah, that was solid, man. I like that. I was like, what the hell did I say? And then I went back and played it again. I was like, oh, I know what I said.
Sentence enhancers.
There we go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, I'm not seeing any more questions coming in the comments, so I'm guessing these guys are just overwhelmed with information.
Hey.
But it's an honor having you on, Josh. Really
pleasure is mine.
Appreciate you.
I'm glad to be able to partner with you guys in your first year, and I'm glad to hopefully help people catch more fish. So, as long as I can continue doing both, I'm pretty happy with that. But if I can beat some folks on the water, I ain't mad at that neither.
What's in your hand there?
Oh, this is just something else I've been tinkering with. I got base colors down for this bluegill color I'm working on, and it's kind of like I'm sorry, trying to find the right light for it, but it's like this is just the base laydown of this particular bluegill color. It's like a kind of a spawning bull bluegill. There's a lot more layers to still go on there, but that back, which is super hard to see in this light, but it's like a metallic, super dark light green. the color shifts a little bit. That particular color I'm in love with, honestly, and I think it's gonna just smash once I get it all dolled up the rest of the way with some purples and some bars on the side.
I love a good crankbait. For me, my criteria for a good crankbait is it has to be easy to cast, even
Yeah,
in the wind. It has to be
Yep.
easy to cast. The setup has a lot to do with that. But I like a dark back, and I like either an orange belly or a light belly, something olive or something with that two-tone.
That contrast, yeah.
Man, you can't go wrong.
I'll tell you what. I learned something because I used to, when I first learned how to throw a bait caster, which, I don't know, probably about 12, 13 years ago. Well, it hasn't been as long as I've been alive, I'll tell you that. But I had a buddy of mine, and he loved throwing traps and square bills, and especially on super, super windy days. And I'm throwing them and bird nesting like crazy with my bait caster. And he's like, dude, why are you not using like a medium heavy spinning rod? And I was like, excuse me? I'm not throwing a crankbait with a spinning rod. And he showed me his setup, and he's like, dude, look at this. And he cast that thing, and I had never seen a crankbait go that far in my life. And I'll tell you, especially if you want to throw, something smaller than a 1.5, some of those little finesse type deals, do it on a spinning rod with with a little bit of backbone to it. I was convinced that day. I don't do it too often because I don't throw too much smaller than a 1.5. Usually I have my times. But when I do, I definitely switch over so you can get more accuracy and distance with your casts.
Yeah, that's key.
Yeah, man.
All right, well, it's been a pleasure. I think we'll see you in approximately 3 days.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If anybody needs some mesh custom cranks, custom crankbaits, you go ahead and reach out to me. Joshua Evans Fishing here on Facebook, or Tight Lines Sharp Minds on Instagram, either one. And we'll chop it up by Thursday. By Friday morning, I'll have everything done, and I can send you pics of what's going to be available. I will be down in the Port Tobacco Newburgh, I think is what it's called, area, which is where our Airbnb is, Friday afternoon, evening, some point after I pick up my kids from school. So I am going to be available to meet up with you if you want to purchase some baits ahead of the tournament. If not, then I will also have them available both day at awards. So holla at your boy, and we'll get you squared away.
Mike Cheney saying he throws his 1.0 on the spinning rod he won from you.
That's what's up, Mikey. I like it. Well, hey guys, again, thank you so much for having me on. Continue to do damn good things with CRM. I'm loving it. I really am. I'm enjoying the energy and the passion behind it, and the consistency, because all those things are not easy to do, and do well. So congratulations and thank you. And I will see y'all this weekend.
All right, Doc.
Hey, man, we appreciate you.
Hey, Sideline Sharp Minds. Let's go. Y'all know the deal.
All right.
I'll see y'all. Peace.